Last week we had a new client join our Tax Titan coaching program, and he had a really good question. The question was honest question about YouTube. I look at channels from accounting firms and their views on their videos are super low, like 9, 13, 26, 17. How are these firms growing when nobody watches their content anyways? And if you've posted content before, you're probably asking the exact same question. I'm posting videos, how come I'm not getting any clients? And there's a big misconception that views equals cash in the bank. And there was a good quote, I can't remember who exactly said it, but there was a really good quote that says, try taking your likes and depositing it in the bank, okay? And while attention is important to get online, it's not necessarily about how much attention you get as much as it is about two things. First, yes, how much of attention you get, but the second is the quality of that attention. You see, personally, I don't care if I get 100,000 views on a video if all of the people who watch it aren't my ideal clients and won't become customers anyway. However, on the flip side, if 17, 23, 19 people watch my video and all of them become paying clients, I would rather take the small video with only 19 views compared to the 100,000. Now, for most of us here, whether it's me making the video or you watching the video, you're probably not going to go viral with organic content. It takes a very special skill set, as Liam Neeson says in Taken, to go viral on a consistent basis. And if you're looking in the tax planning industry, you can probably count on two hands the amount of tax planning influencers who not only get views, but also get clients from those views. And so how is it that there are some firms out there that are getting 9, 13, 17 views a video, and yet they're still building multi-million-dollar firms? And it's because they don't use organic content as an acquisition channel, they use organic content as a nurture channel. Let me explain. So personally, I have never gotten a client who found my video on YouTube, watched the video, and then came to me to become a client. I have, however, run a paid ad. That person either books a call and then goes and binges my YouTube, or they see the ad, they go and binge my stuff, and then they book a call. And that is how me and my clients personally get clients on a consistent basis, because with organic content, you are up to the algorithm on whether or not they're going to show your post, your video, your reel, your YouTube video to people, okay? But with paid ads, you get to cut the line, and not only do you get to cut the line, but with organic, you don't get to pick who your video shows to, right? So like I said, you can get 100,000 people viewing your video. But if you're a tax planner who works with high-income business owners and everybody watching it is a teacher that works for the government in the education system, it's gonna be extremely hard to turn that 100,000 views into paying clients. So with paid ads, we get to target exactly who we want, put our message in front of that person, and we don't have to hope and pray that our video is gonna go viral. Instead, we pay for the distribution and get attention that way. And then with our content, it isn't necessarily used to attract new eyeballs, as great as that is, right? If you can do that, fantastic. You know, a friend of mine, for example, who's actually gonna be doing a coaching session inside of the Tax Titans coaching program, he's got about 400,000 followers. And he was recently on a podcast with me, and we were having the discussion, right, is that he can, you know, spend 30 minutes creating an organic post, and he's able to get 400 leads. Okay, but the problem is that, again, leads don't make the cash register ring. Clients do. So this dude has 400,000 followers on all of his accounts, his Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And even though he has 400,000 followers and I only have 2,000, I make roughly 10 times more than him in 1 month simply because I control who my ads, who my content gets in front of, and as a result, I don't have to rely on looky-loos, tire kickers, but I'm able to weed out those people and then have my ads show to decision makers who are in the market right now. And then my content is used to warm those people up before someone actually hops on the call. But again, it's a nurture sequence. It is not necessarily getting clients organically to come to me that way. Okay, and just one more thought on this is that people ask me, right? They're like, hey, should I do paid ads or should I do organic content? And my answer is always both. And here's why. When you rely on one or the other, okay, organic, you're leaving your success up to the algorithms if they decide to show your content to people that day. However, with paid ads, a lot of it's going to people who have never heard of you, okay? And so I always pose the question, would you rather talk with someone who spent 60 seconds with you watching an ad, or would you rather spend that time with someone who's consumed 2 or 3 hours of your content? Obviously, everybody would rather prefer the 2 or 3 hours of consuming content, and so would I. I mean, who wouldn't want you to do that? But most people rely on one or the other, and that's the problem. Either you don't have the distribution, which is where you need paid ads, or if you do have the distribution, the problem is that people are coming in completely cold. And the paid ads, when I work with my clients, we recommend paid ads to get that attention, get someone to book a call, and then you have organic content in place to pass the sniff test. So if someone comes and checks you out, they know you're a real person, but to also nurture that person, let them binge your content, learn about you, your firm, what makes you different. You have the opportunity to overcome objections in advance. And you're able to build that trust at scale because you can make the video once, just like I'm doing here with you, and you can be watching this at the same time as hundreds or thousands of other people. So we use the paid ads to get eyeballs, get attention, and then we use the organic content to actually warm those people up as much as possible before they ever book the call with you. So if you had that question like Tom, right, which is, hey, how are these accounting firms only getting 10, 20 views and yet they're getting clients and building multi-million-dollar firms? That is how they're doing it. So just to recap, you run paid ads, you get them to book the call, you use the content to nurture that person. If you can get organic content, you know, busting through the roof, getting tons of views and turning those people into paying clients, great. It's not gonna be the reality for most of us, so we need to use content as a means of nurturing as opposed to just an acquisition channel. So hope that was helpful. Make sure to check out this next video and we'll see you next time.